Some say his nipples are explosive. And that he's recently had a Mexican... I mean Brazilian. Why did I say that? I'm sorry, Mr. Ambassador. Anyway, all we know is he's called the Stig. Some say that we have at least thought of a new way of introducing him, but we haven't. It's the Stig! Some say that he invented the curtain and that he recently submitted a £20,000 expenses claim for some gravel for his moat. All we know is he's called the Stig. Some say he has a digital face and that if he felt like it, he could fire Alan Sugar. All we know is he's called the Stig. Some say he's married to one of Princess Anne's hats and that he spent all week standing outside a hospital in London pretending to be Nicholas Witchell. All we know is he's called the Stig. Now, some say that he isn't allowed by law within 100 yards of Lorraine Kelly. And that he's never seen an episode of Top Gear because he's a huge fan of Midsummer Murders. All we know is he's called Bergerac. Some say that he appears on high-value stamps in Sweden and that he can catch fish with his tongue. We know him only as the Stig. Some say that he refuses to acknowledge the existence of Nottinghamshire and that he recently received a very strong email from his fiancée's mother saying it's bad manners to sit at the dinner table in a helmet. All we know is he's called the Stig.
Some say he has a stripy top, just like mine.
Oh, come on, James. You really didn't fool anybody.
Yeah, not fooled anyone. No, this really is a big moment. Some say that to unlock him, you have to run your finger down his face. Like that. And that if he were getting divorced from Paul McCartney, he'd keep his stupid, whining mouth shut. All we know is he's called the Stig.
Some say he isn't machine washable, and all his potted plants are called Steve. All we know is he's called the Stig.
Now, some say that last week he was found in a locked room tied to a chair with German piano wire. And that this week, MPs turned him down for the job of Speaker. All we know is that's 3 things he has in common with Margaret Beckett.
Some say one of his legs gets longer when he sees a pretty lady. And that I haven't done one of these for some time and I've forgotten to make up a second thing. All we know is he's called the Stig.
Some say that his favourite T-shirt has a picture on the front of a T-shirt. And that he's spent all week waiting for a big check from the Germans because he, too, has spent the last 2,000 years sitting on his backside doing absolutely nothing at all. All we know is he's called the Stig! Some say he's wanted by the CIA and that he sleeps upside down like a bat. All we know is he's called the Stig. Some say that if you lick his chest, it tastes exactly the same as Piccalilli. And that at this week's Brit Awards, he was arrested for goosing Russell Brand. All we know is he's called the Stig. Some say that he knows 2 facts about ducks, and both of them are wrong. And that 61 years ago, he accidentally introduced Her Majesty the Queen to a Greek racialist. All we know is I'm going to the Tower now to have my head cut off.
Yes.
And he is called the Stig. Some say that his ears aren't exactly where you'd expect them to be, and that once, preposterously, he had an affair with John Prescott. All we know is he's called the Stig.